You feel that you are carrying an invisible weight on your shoulders, don't you? That anxiety that tightens your chest when you think about tomorrow, the racing heart at 3 in the morning, the mind that won't shut off, replaying bills, problems at work, the health of aging parents, the future of your children. You wake up tired before the day has even begun. So listen carefully to what the Almighty is saying to you now, at this very moment. Do not worry about tomorrow, for I am already there working it all out. Stop everything you are doing, take a deep breath, because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you 3 truths that will free your mind from this cycle of worry that is destroying you from within. I will reveal why your anxiety has increased so much after the age of 35, what is happening in your body and spirit when you worry too much, and above all, how the Almighty has already prepared your tomorrow before you even woke up today. If you are here, it was not by chance. Stay until the end, because the last part will change the way you live forever. Let's start with the signs. You need to recognize what is happening to you before you can change. And look, I know it might hurt to hear this, but it is necessary. You sleep, but you do not rest. You lie in bed exhausted, but your mind keeps working like a machine. Scenarios, conversations, imaginings of what could go wrong tomorrow, next week, next month. You wake up in the middle of the night, and the first thing that comes to mind is a problem. That bill, that difficult conversation you need to have, that medical test that is overdue. You feel your chest tighten for no apparent reason. You are driving, you are at the supermarket, you are watching television, and suddenly a wave of anguish takes hold of you. There is no rational explanation. It is as if your body knows something your mind has not yet understood. You get irritated easily. Small things that didn't bother you before now set you off. The child making noise, your partner leaving dishes in the sink, traffic. You know you are overreacting, but you cannot control yourself. And then comes the guilt. You put off important decisions, that conversation you need to have with your child, that career change, that project you dream of starting. Everything is left for tomorrow, because tomorrow always seems so heavy, so uncertain, that you prefer to stay still. And here is a statistic you might not know. Research in America shows that more than 18 million Americans live with anxiety disorders. We are the most anxious country in the world, and most of these people are over 35. It is not a coincidence. It is exactly at this stage of life that responsibilities pile up, that parents start to become dependent, that children demand more, that your career weighs more, that your health starts to show its first signs. But there is something no one tells you, and this is the hardest truth to accept. Your worry is not protecting you. It is robbing you. It is stealing your sleep, your peace, your joy, your present. You are paying today with your life for problems that may never happen tomorrow. The Savior said something very clear in the book of Matthew chapter 6. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. In simple words, he is asking, what has your worry ever solved? What problem was fixed because you spent the night awake thinking about it? None, absolutely none. And now you need to understand something very deep. Something that perhaps explains why this video appeared to you today, on this day, at this exact moment in your life. There is a difference between caring and worrying. Caring is action. Worrying is torture. Caring is looking at the problem and doing what is within your reach. Worrying is looking at the problem and becoming paralyzed, suffering in advance for things that haven't even happened. And the worst part is that many Christians confuse worry with responsibility. They think they are being good parents, good children, good professionals, because they are always worried. But the Bible calls this a lack of faith. And look, I am not judging you. I am setting you free. Because as long as you think you need to carry everything, you are rejecting the help of the Almighty. And that is exactly what I need to talk to you about now before I continue. You are feeling this, aren't you? This tightness while I speak. This sensation that every word is touching exactly what you live every day. It is not a coincidence that you are hearing this today. There is something greater happening in your spiritual life and you feel it, even without being able to explain it. Maybe you have been having strange dreams. Maybe you have felt a restlessness in the last few months that doesn't go away, even when everything seems fine. Maybe you have woken up at dawn with the feeling that you need to prepare for something. Many people are seeing these signs around the world, but few understand what they really mean. The Almighty is calling His own. He is separating those who will go through what is to come and those who will be caught by surprise. And if you have made it this far, it is because you have spiritual responsibility over your home, over your children, over your husband, your wife, your parents. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You Are Saved for Judgment Day. The link is right there in the video description and also pinned at the top of the comments. Thousands of people have already read it, cried, prayed, and said their lives changed completely after reading it. Entire families have regained their peace. This material could be taken down at any moment, and if you are feeling this call now, do not ignore it. Click the link, secure yours, and comment Amen below if you accept this call. Now take a deep breath, because I am going to reveal the root cause of all this, and this part is the most important one so far. You worry too much about tomorrow because deep down, you don't trust that there is someone greater taking care of you. You might go to church, you might pray, you might read the Bible. But when night falls, when you are alone with your thoughts, the truth appears. You feel that you are alone, that everything depends on you, that if you don't think about everything, no one will. That is the wound, and it has a name. It is the trauma of forced self-sufficiency. Most people over 35 in America grew up in a culture that taught you that you have to handle everything on your own. Men don't cry. Women have to be strong. The oldest child takes care of the siblings. If you don't do it, no one will. And so you grew up accumulating responsibilities, thinking you need to carry the world. And today you are 35, 40, 50 years old, and you are exhausted. Science confirms what the Bible said 2,000 years ago. Cortisol, the stress hormone, when produced in excess for years on end, destroys your body. It causes high blood pressure, diabetes, heart problems, weight gain, hair loss, premature aging. Chronic worry literally shortens your life. Researchers have already proven that people with chronic anxiety lose, on average, 7 years of life expectancy. 7 years. Years that could be spent with your children, with your grandchildren, taking that trip you always put off. And the most painful part? You are losing the present. While you worry about tomorrow, today passes through your hands without you noticing. Your child grew up and you didn't see it. Your marriage cooled and you didn't notice. Your health is gone and you didn't take care of it. All because your mind was somewhere else. Remember that story of the people of Israel in the desert. They had just left Egypt. They were hungry, thirsty, afraid. And the Almighty said He would send food from heaven. But there was a very specific rule. Each one should collect only what was necessary for the day. No saving for tomorrow. And what happened? Many didn't trust. They collected extra. They saved it. And do you know what happened to the saved food? It rotted. It was filled with worms. It stank in the tent. Because the provision of the Almighty does not work with worry. It works with daily trust. And that is exactly what the Almighty is saying to you now. Do not worry about tomorrow because I am already there. It doesn't mean you won't work. It doesn't mean you won't plan. It means you will do your part with peace, knowing that tomorrow is not in your hands. It is in His hands. And here comes the question that will change your life. If the Almighty is already in your tomorrow, why do you insist on going there alone? You are waking up now, aren't you? Something is moving inside you. A desire to cry, a relief, a hope. Comment below. I trust. Just that. I trust. And tell me also where you are watching from now. Where is this message coming from that the Almighty sent directed at you? Take the opportunity to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because we prepare messages like this with great care, with prayer, asking for direction from the Almighty to reach exactly those who need to hear it. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any. Now pay attention, because I'm going to give you the path, the method, the practical solution for you to leave this cycle of worry and enter into the rest of the Almighty. The first thing is to understand what it means to surrender. Surrendering is not pretending the problem doesn't exist. It is not running away. It is not being negligent. Surrendering is doing your part with excellence and handing back to the Almighty what only He can solve. It is like the farmer who prepares the soil, plants the seed, waters it, but does not control the rain. He does his part and hands over the rest. You need to start separating every day what is yours and what is the Almighty's. take a sheet of paper. Make 2 columns. On the left side, write everything that is worrying you. On the right side, mark what can you do today and what is completely out of your control, and what is out of your control you surrender. In prayer out loud saying, Lord, this here is yours, I will no longer carry it. The second thing is to practice daily presence. The secret of people who live in peace is not that they don't have problems. They do. But they talk to the Almighty all the time, not in formal prayer, kneeling, eyes closed, but in the car, in traffic, washing dishes, waiting for the bus. They talk to the Almighty as if He were a friend by their side. And when you do this, your brain learns that you are not alone, that there is someone listening, and the anxiety diminishes. There is a study from Harvard University that showed that people who pray daily in any format have 30% less chance of developing depression and anxiety. It is not magic, it is neuroscience. Prayer regularizes the nervous system. It calms the amygdala, which is the part of the brain responsible for fear. It activates the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational decisions. The third thing is to start and end the day by surrendering. In the morning, before checking your phone, before seeing the news, before thinking about anything, you say, Lord, this day is yours. Go before me, prepare my paths, I trust. And at night, before sleeping, you say, Lord, I did what I could today. What I didn't manage to do, I return to you. Tomorrow is in your hands. I will rest. Does it sound simple? It is simple. But it is powerful, because peace does not come from the absence of problems. It comes from the presence of the Almighty, and you attract the presence of the Almighty when you trust. And there is one more thing I need to tell you. You need to cut ties with your old mind, the one that always imagines the worst, the one that learned, since childhood, to prepare for catastrophe. You need to renew your mind, and this is done with the Word. Verses like Philippians 4, 6, 7, Psalm 23, Psalm 91. You memorize them, you repeat them, you speak them out loud when fear appears, because faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Almighty. There is a specific promise that the Almighty has for you at this stage of your life. He is saying He wants to take you out of the cycle of inherited worry. Maybe your mother worried too much. Maybe your father lived anxiously. And you inherited this, as if it were normal, but it isn't. And today, in this video, at this moment, the Almighty is cutting this chain. He is calling you to a new way of living. You felt that, didn't you? This moment of breaking, this moment of revelation. Not just anyone makes it to this point in the video. Most give up halfway. But you stayed. And that says a lot about you. It says there is a calling on your life, a mission, a spiritual responsibility over the people around you. Your children need to see in you a reference of peace. Your spouse needs to see in you a fortress. Your parents need to see in you an example. And you won't be able to be all that if you remain trapped in worry. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You Are Saved for Judgment Day. It is a material that will show you, with deep biblical basis, who are the chosen ones to go through the difficult time that is coming, and how you prepare yourself spiritually from now on. The link is right there in the description and also pinned at the top of the comments. This content could be taken down, so don't leave it for later. Secure yours now. Now let me tell you a story. A true story that happened here in America, and that perfectly illustrates everything we are talking about. There was a man, let's call him Arthur. Arthur was 48 years old, lived in rural Kentucky, was married, and had 3 children. He had worked as a truck driver for 25 years. He supported his family with great difficulty, and he lived worried. Worried about the road, worried about the truck debt, worried about his wife's health, who had started treatment, worried about his youngest son, who was entering adolescence. Arthur reached a point where he didn't sleep anymore. He took sleeping pills, he took blood pressure medication, he took stomach medicine. The doctor said that if he didn't change, he wouldn't reach 50. One day he was parked at a gas station in the middle of the night and started crying inside the truck cab, alone, with no one to see. And there, at that moment, he spoke to the Almighty in a way he had never spoken before. He said, Lord, I can't do it anymore. You take over. I surrender. And he told me later that that night he slept like he hadn't slept in years, No medicine, no tossing and turning. He slept deeply. And when he woke up, the first thing he felt was peace. Not that the problems had disappeared. They were still there. But something inside him had changed. Arthur started practicing every day what I taught you. Surrendering in the morning, surrendering at night, talking to the Almighty in the truck, on the road, waiting for cargo, memorizing verses and repeating them when fear came. And do you know what happened? In 6 months, he had stopped taking 3 medications. His blood pressure stabilized. His wife improved in her treatment. His son started getting closer to him again. And most interestingly, the financial situation, which he worried so much about, started to improve too. Because with a light mind, he made better decisions. He accepted better routes. He renegotiated debts with wisdom. Arthur's story is not unique. It is the story of thousands of people who discovered this secret, who understood that the Almighty is not asking you to be irresponsible. He is asking you to trust. And when you trust, everything starts to work in a different way. Now answer me sincerely. How many times have you cried alone like Arthur? How many times have you felt suffocated with no way out, with no one to really talk to? Comment below. Write the word surrender. Just that. Surrender. And observe how, just by writing it, something will move inside you. I will give you one more powerful tool before we finish. Something that changed many people's lives. It is called the prayer of the 3 surrenders. Every morning before getting out of bed, you say 3 things out loud. First, Lord, I surrender my body. May it function today according to your will. Second, Lord, I surrender my mind. May my thoughts be guided by you. Third, Lord, I surrender my family. Go before my children, my spouse, my parents. 3 surrenders, 30 seconds, and your day starts differently. Try it for a week, just one, and tell me in the comments what happened. I am waiting for your testimony. And look, I need to tell you something difficult now. Maybe you are thinking this is too simple to solve complex problems. Maybe you are thinking, but my situation is different. My pain is deeper. My problems are real. And I answer you, yes, they are real, but the presence of the Almighty is even more real. And He is not asking you to pretend the problems don't exist. He is calling you to face them with Him by your side, not alone. The difference is abysmal. Think of a child crossing a dangerous street. Alone she trembles. Alone she hesitates. Alone she might even give up. Now think of the same child crossing the same street, but holding hands with her father. The cars are still there. The noise continues. The danger is the same. But the child walks calmly. Why? Because she knows she has someone with her. That is the difference the Almighty makes in your life. The problems continue, but you are no longer alone. And now the time has come for you to make a decision. Will you continue carrying this weight? Will you continue waking up at 3 in the morning with a tight heart? Will you continue letting your life pass by while you worry about a tomorrow that never arrives as you imagined? Or will you choose today, now at this moment, to surrender everything into the hands of the Almighty? Because everything you have heard so far was not a coincidence. You did not arrive at this video by chance. There is something the Almighty has to tell you at this specific stage of your life, and you need to be prepared spiritually for what is coming. The world is changing fast, times are accelerating, and many people will be left behind because they didn't prepare. You who are here, reading every word, feeling every sentence, have responsibility not only for your soul, but for the soul of those who are close to you, your children, your spouse, your friends. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you, How to Know If You Are Saved for Judgment Day. This material will give you absolute clarity about where you are spiritually, what signs the Almighty has already sent you, and how to act in this very important phase. The link is pinned in the video description and also at the top of the comments. Click now, before you forget, before another worry takes over your mind. This is your moment. You didn't pass by here for nothing. Comment I accept if you are ready for this journey. Let's go to the final steps. I want to make it very clear what you will do as soon as this video ends. First, you will stop. You will put your hand on your chest. You will take 3 deep breaths and you will say out loud, "The Almighty is already in my tomorrow. I don't need to go there today." Second, you will take a sheet of paper and write down all the worries that are consuming you. Everything. without filters, the small ones and the big ones. Then you will look at this sheet and surrender each one to the Almighty. You can tear up the sheet afterward, or keep it to look at in a month and see how many of these worries were resolved, without you needing to do absolutely anything. Third, you will establish a daily moment with the Almighty. It doesn't need to be an hour, it can be 10 minutes, but every day at the same time. It can be in the morning, before everyone wakes up. It can be at night, after the house goes quiet. This moment is yours, it is sacred, it is where you will recharge your peace. Fourth, you will cut the consumption of things that feed your anxiety. News all day long, toxic conversations in the family group, that friend who only talks about tragedy. It doesn't mean abandoning people, it means creating boundaries to protect your peace. Because your peace is a treasure, it is not for just anyone. Fifth, you will feed on the Word every day, even if it's just one verse. But read it, meditate, write it down, memorize it, because the Word of the Almighty is food for your soul. Without it, you will die of spiritual hunger, even while being surrounded by everything. You feel that this message was made for you, don't you? Every word, every example, every tear that fell just now. It was not by chance that you made it here. The Almighty brought you, and now it is up to you to answer this call. The worry you carry can end today. This could be the last day of your old life. The message you heard here is just the beginning of a much greater transformation. That is why I prepared the powerful digital book for you. How to Know If You Are Saved for Judgment Day. This book will dive into spiritual truths that few pastors are teaching today, about how to identify if you are one of the chosen for this final time, how to protect your family, and how to walk firmly despite everything that is happening in the world. The link is right there in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. Don't leave it for tomorrow, because tomorrow might be too late. Click now, secure your access, and write below "I am ready" if you accept this call. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this word. It could be your child, your mother, your husband, your wife, that friend you know is suffering in silence. The Almighty can use you to set someone else free too. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and see you in the next meeting. The peace of the Almighty, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and your mind today. Amen.